Benchmark equity indices closed higher today on the back of gains in shares of L&T and RIL despite caution ahead of the rate decision by the US Fed later tonight. The FMCG sector also helped the index close higher, followed by shares of construction companies. The Nifty and Sensex both up about 0.5%, Sensex up at 66,707 at close and the Nifty at 19,778. Top gainers today, L&T has been in action, ITC back in the green, Cipla, Britannia and Sun Pharma, a couple of those pharma majors today. On the downside, the Bajaj Twins, M&M, Apollo Hospitals and Tech Mahindra. Markets could go higher still from current levels, with the Nifty likely to rise a further 10% in the next 1 year, says Vinod Karki, head of equity strategy at ICICI Securities. In an exclusive conversation with BTTV's Shailendra Bhatnagar, the veteran analyst said that India's capex cycle is likely to expand over the medium term, pulling sectors such as infrastructure, financials and real estate much higher.
Given the way the markets are headed, how do you think sentiment is placed at the moment?
So what has happened, thankfully, and a stroke of luck or whatever you may call policy, things like that, just after COVID, at the most, the time when no one would have thought about it, the whole capex cycle in India, including the real estate cycle, and the massive policy initiatives by the government in manufacturing, attracting manufacturing within India. Also, luck played along because China was getting impacted by this China plus one strategy. So I think this is coming out to be one of the most interesting times. We haven't seen such an environment. This environment played out during 2003 to 2010 period, where these elements played out. And this is showing up. And more than us, actually, now the foreigners are getting excited about India's story. We know that things don't change overnight, but, I think the foreigners who look at us now are getting very excited. And Indians have always been optimistic about how the local environment will go. So I think it's a very interesting time for investors to look at growth stories.
To looking at sectors which are consumer facing. And the first thing that comes to my mind is the boom that we are seeing, at least on the auto space. 4 or 5 stocks at record high levels, both commercial vehicle makers, Tata Motors, Ashok Leyland, and in the passenger vehicle space, Maruti headed for 5 digits. All the 3 top two-wheeler companies doing pretty well. And we've seen a fairly strong boom coming into the auto ancillary space. How are you looking at the automobile sector? Are there still valuations which are, fairly okay? Or has this outpriced itself at record highs now?
So auto for us is part of, as you said, the consumption basket. So what is happening right now is a very peculiar thing. So which are the big ticket consumption items in the economy? One is houses. Then you have cars and motorcycles, and that to the premium ones, the premium cars, premium motorcycles. Then your travel, tourism, leisure, entertainment. If you observe, all these activities are very robust. So we talk about this K-shaped recovery in consumption. So that's showing up there actually. The mass consumption, low-end consumption, rural-based consumption, that's where the challenges are, and we are not seeing any robustness there. But if you look at where the formal sector, people who work in the formal sector, their wages are rising or they're getting more jobs. If you look at the EPFO data, the number of people who are getting hired in the formal sector, they are rising, their incomes are rising. So we are seeing this dichotomy in consumption where higher end premium discretionary consumption, be it auto or houses or travel tourism, entertainment, eating out, all these are showing quite robust trends overall. So we like this space wherever it allows us the valuation comfort. Some of these internet companies also are catering to some of these activities. There also, we have some positive ratings over there. So overall, the consumption basket, I would break it up into, as I said, the premium areas. Across the board, there's quite a good demand. It's only the low-end mass consumption where there is a challenge at this point.